2026 is almost here. And throughout YouTube, there's this annual trend around November and December about going ghost or going monk. And it's this way of disappearing off of social media and focusing all in on your work. So I love productivity. And in this video, I want to share these 3 experiences that I've had with monk mode, of how it's helped me and how I don't think it's exactly working. So I'm Wesley. I'm an executive coach and an executive assistant, and I want to share these 3 tips on my whole experience on monk mode. So I'm going to use these terms interchangeably, monk mode and going ghost. I think they're the same thing, of you're going to disappear off for a while and you're going to come back a new, rebuilt you. And this whole thing on social media where you want to focus on isolation. And I think that was what I've learned, is that isolation isn't the answer to everything. We see it in pop culture with like Batman going off to Ra's al Ghul and just learning off of him and becoming this vigilante superhero. And that's what we idolize and want to become. We want to become this better version of ourselves. People aren't going to see the work, they want to see the result. And I wanted that too. So last year, I focused a lot on isolation, of saying no to social events, saying no to even working out, so that I could focus on recording YouTube videos. Because that was what I wanted. I wanted to build this channel so that I can grow it to become my own business and self-sustainable, and hopefully come out with a little bit of selfishness of saying to people, I have a YouTube channel. And right now in 2025, it's not where I wanted it to be. And I think that's okay, because what I've realized was that isolation wasn't the answer. It wasn't about burying my head in the work. I need people with me. I realized that I need mentors with me as well. So I thought I could save money by taking courses and just learning off the courses and taking my time to implement what they're teaching about their business into my business. But even that, I realized that I'm not going as far as I want. When I had coaches and mentors pouring into me, I was moving at such a quicker pace. So that was the first key thing, was that it's that African proverb of, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go with people. And I need mentors, the people who've walked the walk, help me model my steps and give me feedback on what I'm doing wrong and what I'm doing right. So that was the key thing. Isolation took that away from me. And then being around community was helpful too, because I realized that once I isolated myself, I lost a bit of my humanity. I became more calloused and a bit of a hermit too, of, I wasn't going out. So when I rejected social events, people stopped inviting me to things because they knew I wouldn't go to them. However, this year, in 2025, I've learned that I'm able to balance both YouTube videos and having a social life and working out. And it wasn't until I took Thomas Alexander's Talking to the Camera Challenge, a 30-day Talking to the Camera Challenge, where I was able to consistently talk to the camera every day and prove to myself that I can still record YouTube videos and have a social life. So throughout all this, it's become this monk mode, this going ghost. I've learned it's more of giving generously, of being able to give, and you end up receiving a lot more than you think. So I've been able to hang out with my friends. I'm currently helping a friend move out of his own home because he's preparing for a new life in Japan. And it's because I realize my priorities now, that because I have these commitments of talking to the camera, being with friends, and still having a life, I'm able to focus on my content. And I think that's the key thing too. When I took Captain Sinbad's YouTube challenge as well, his coaching program, he challenged me that the best YouTubers are the ones that have a life. That YouTube in itself is the people going to war and then coming back to the camera and sharing their stories. And that's what I want to share with you, was that I tried to live out this whole YouTube for 100 days and it didn't work. It was only because I had a life of interacting with people that I was able to come back and share this story with you. that you need people to go far and you need to have a life. So that was something that I learned from monk mode. And then the second thing that I do want to talk about is the life of monks. So monks, they wouldn't isolate themselves in a cave and become a hermit. They would actually go to a community elsewhere and separate themselves from all these distractions so that they can focus on their one mission, which was on God. And the same can go for us in that it's not isolation we're seeking for, it's community. We need to focus on our mission. And my mission right now is I want to help busy professionals get 10 plus hours of their time back by helping them with their productivity skills like this. So in Cal Newport's Deep Work, he talks about that a lot. He talks about how this undistracted focus time is what's going to help us get so much more of our time back. Because he is this MIT professor trying to write this book, and it's very hard for him to find that time. So what he does is make the best use of the limited time that he has, which is chunking out his time, putting focus blocks, and turning off social media. Well, he doesn't have social media, but just turning off all these distractions so that he could spend these 2 hours of pure writing. And that's something I'm trying to take away, is that throughout my time, that in 2025, I have focus times in my calendar now. So I do this with my executive as well, that we need undistracted focus time because that's where we get the most productivity and get the most of our work done. As a busy executive, and I'm managing my executive, most of his calendar is filled with meetings, but he can't do any work in these meetings, so that I need to fill his calendar with just free time. But during that free time, it's just doing work. Get all the emails out of the way, make all the PowerPoint presentations. And it's the same thing for me, that I have 2 free nights out of the night. I have a good 2-hour chunk. And like, I know the fall, I love to watch sports. There's football, there's basketball on, but I have to say no to those temptations. And what I do, I have video game music that I turn on. So it's like my cue and my signal that it's time to lock in. And I just write scripts. I'll go to YouTube, I'll do market research, find stuff that people are interested about, and share my own experience on it. And with AI being so prevalent, I have to not use AI. I have to focus on being myself and drawing within me on what makes me unique and sharing that experience. Because I think if you've seen around YouTube as well, you could see all these people using AI scripts because they're all saying the same thing, but I want to say something different, which is going all in on your work. So by chunking out 2 hours of my calendar per night for these 2 nights that I have, I'm able to get a YouTube video out. So it's diving in, focusing on your work and eliminating distractions. And then that's the third thing that I want to talk about, is eliminating distractions. I've learned that throughout my time as going through monk mode, that people aren't distractions. Social media and other things are. So some people can be distractions, and you know who those people are. And you just got to find that time. You got to eliminate and remove yourself from certain places so that you can focus on your work. I like to bring up that music artists, they do that so that they can lock in and create an amazing album. So I'm an old head. I love Bon Iver. And so Justin Vernon, it's a one-man band. He had a breakup with his girlfriend, and that caused him so much sorrow, but he wanted to capture that emotion. He locked himself in a cabin in the woods in his hometown of Wisconsin, his home state of Wisconsin, and wrote the album For Emma Forever Ago. And that album is a beautiful album. It launched his career, and it's primarily him and his guitar, but it's the rawness that came out of it that people were enamored and captured by his vulnerability. And sometimes that's what we need if we were to go monk mode or go ghost. If we do find that there are things distracting us, we have to go off site. That's why there's so many corporate offsites happening, is because they are so many distractions around us. We just need a different environment, different setting, and sit down and do the work. So for me, I'm still trying to live an undistracted life. And bit by bit, I'm trying to remove distractions. And one way I've done that is cut down social media. So what I've done is I deleted social media off of my phone, and the only way I can access social media is through my computer. But during my computer, when I access it, I have a browser extension that blocks the social media feed and the stories. So I can't see anything. It's all blank. And the only reason I have social media is to keep in touch with other people. So all I have are DMs, and I think that's okay, because that's helped me stop comparing to the people that I no longer see. And I think it's given me a lot more mental bandwidth and headspace too, because now I'm not consuming much content. The only content I am consuming is on YouTube, and most of it is educational. And that's what I want to focus on, is that I want to fill my knowledge with educational content and not informational junk food. So those are the three things that I've learned from my experience of going ghost and going monk, is that isolation isn't the answer. I need community. I need people around me, and I need mentors before me to bring me closer to success. And I need to focus on deep work, which is removing all distractions and then cutting out all the junk in my life, those distractions, so that I can focus on my work. And you can do the same as well. So if you're interested in working with me, I help busy professionals like you develop healthy rhythms and deep work focus practices so that you can do a lot more with less time. So if you're interested in working with me, you can click down below to apply to my program. So thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.